podcast la mondon. Socio kolapsis, kai nur la plej forta aŭ la plej bonsanka esti posvivinta. Miaj ludantoj estis bonsanka. Ili finas esti parto de unuaranga grupo de sobrevivientes, kiu ontigis sian akirita sensenkaĵo.
Okay, so I've always been a zombie fan, and that's kind of very mainstream right now. You know, with Walking Dead and everything around zombies is like really passé right now. So we thought we want to make a game with zombies. Zombies are cool, but everyone's bored with them. So let's do something to make them hipper. What's hipper than a hipster?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we thought it would be cool to just have this sort of tension between hipsters being all about their looks and being cool and being like very up to date, and the undead, because they don't look good. They look horrible.
Yeah, it's like the opposite. Maybe grunge.
Yeah. It's like the old grunge guy from the 90s going like, "Oh, you don't know anything about this," and then hipsters come like, "Oh yeah, Nirvana's the coolest." So yeah, something like that.
I really liked when I was reading the Kickstarter about how, you know, it was retro inspired. I mean, yeah, you have the 2D, but that doesn't necessarily always mean retro. But there was elements from games like Metal Slug, Contra.
Yeah.
You know, can you tell us about like those inspiration from those games, you know, that went into Hipsters versus Zombies?
Well, you see, I'd say the main inspiration is obviously Metal Slug. I've always loved this frantic action in video games. You see, I've tried, but I'm not one for strategy games, for long 2-hour sessions, just, I don't know, like building an airport in a city. No, I want my video games hard and fast. So the idea was to make it like Metal Slug, where you would have to die 1,000 deaths before knowing where this guy's coming from and where that bullet is coming from and how to avoid it and make it through the game.
And that makes it exciting. I mean, like Metal Slug was definitely an awesome series. I mean, I loved all of them, but I mean, you had to be crazy good to not
Absolutely.
die a lot. But it didn't take anything away from the gameplay or the fun, even though it was difficult. So is that what you guys are going for? That, yeah, you may die a lot, but you're having fun, so you want to come back. It's not just hard for hard's sake.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like there's this game from Capi, Super Time for Soltra. I don't know if you've played it.
I've seen it. I haven't played it myself, though.
Well, it's crazy. It's incredibly hard, but it's got this feature where every time you die, you can rewind the tape and keep going back at the bad guy. I love that because it's like a commentary on just how you would have to play and play again and die and die and die until you get it. So yeah, that's what we're going for. And I think you have to go for a very, very strong game design for a game like that to work. You see, because it's very easy to make a game that's hard for hard's sake, as you said.
Mhm.
It's another thing to make a game where every time you fail, it's your own fault, where you notice, oh boy, I had to move here instead of there to not get hit, and then shoot back at the guy.
Yeah, death is a learning experience.
In a way, it is.
So, I mean, and can you take us through like the hipster weaponry? Because I think that that's something that's unique. I
Oh,
mean,
sure.
Metal Slug had, you know, some conventional weapons, but also had some weapons that were cool. Of course, the tank itself. So can you tell us about some of the weapons that you get in Hipsters versus Zombies?
Sure. Well, there's a couple characters in Hipster vs. Zombies, and each of them has their own weaponry. We thought that allowed for us to have lots of funny weapons. The main one is the vinyl record. You throw vinyls shuriken style, which will kill the zombies. Then, if you want to get really heavy, you've got a jukebox, which has a flaming pipe in front of it. So you shoot flaming vinyl.
Nice.
Yeah, of course, necessary. And yeah, and for close combat, we've got a typewriter. Because, you know, typewriters are heavy things. They're not practical. They're noisy, but they're really heavy. And
Yeah.
like,
A lot of people don't use typewriters anymore, but I remember seeing those old ones. I mean, that thing falls on you, you're seriously hurt.
yeah, absolutely. And we also thought it would be like really cool from the animation standpoint to have you hit the zombies and all the keys just flying out from the strength of your hit. And we also have a huge tattoo gun, because, you know, what's more hipster than tattoos? Well,
Yeah.
a tattoo artist. So yeah, we've got like the rapid fire tattoo machine gun, and we've got the ER special. ER can be for Ellen Ripley or emergency room, whatever you fancy. And it's it throws fireballs of ink. And yeah, those are the big elements, and there's like variations on those.
What about
and I couldn't get back.
the Warbox? Warbucks
Oh, yeah.
Cappuccino, Napalm Chino.
Yeah.
I mean, that just sounds
Yeah.
awesome. It looks like a Starbucks cup, and it's just like it looks like it does devastating damage.
Yeah, I forgot the biggest one. Yeah, instead of grenades, you throw Warbucks napalm chinos. I don't know if I butchered the pronunciation there. Which are really, really hard, and they melt the poor zombies.
That's awesome. It reminds me of the case with McDonald's a couple of years ago, where the lady, sued successfully, by the way, for the hot coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, it can be hot, and melt some zombies with it.
Oh boy, I didn't know about the McDonald's thing. But,
yeah, it's pretty sad, but I mean, I can imagine hot, really hot coffee, and it being like a spoof on Starbucks, expensive hipster coffee. That sounds like it's a good idea to throw on zombies. I like it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite weapon, I have to admit. Don't know why I forgot it.
As far as the characters themselves, Sugar and Ulysses, besides weapon types, and of course one being a male, one being female, it says that you learn about their story. So it's not like these are just default lady or guy running around. You actually learn about them, right?
Yeah. Ulysses is something of a writer, or he pretends to be a writer to pick up chicks, and
I tried that, didn't work.
yeah, me too. It didn't work either. I got into art trying. Here I am. Anyway, so yeah, that's why he carries his typewriter around, and yeah, it's like we considered several ideas for the relationship between the two characters, but yeah, basically Ulysses is something like a hipster bodybuilder, right? So he's very self-conscious about his image, about pretending to be this very deep character with lots of conflicts, but he's just in it for attention. And then Sugar, on the other hand, is like this really rad, aggressive girl who's a tattoo artist and goes around like trying to show very blatantly that she doesn't care about her image or anything. But then she's got like this long flowing hair with two colors, and so she's got like a conflict there. She's got a real conflict. But anyway, it's a shooter. Don't expect like really Walking Dead depth.
Yeah, but no, it's still cool to kind of know something. I mean, like it's, you know, like when speaking of Contra, you know, like, or even Metal Slug, yeah, you didn't really know that much about the characters, but like when I found out, you know, like Theo and Metal Slug, in the later Metal Slug, you know, you find out a little bit about them. It's kind of interesting to still have a little bit of information on the characters. It doesn't have to be, like you said, a deep Telltale or Walking Dead type thing for a shooter, but it's kind of cool to know a little bit about them. And then like the typewriter kind of makes sense. He pulled out a typewriter and he's beating them with it. And it's like, okay, it fits even more with the characters. So I like that kind of detail.
Yeah, that's the thing. We considered including vehicles and having like a longboard, a fixie, and maybe even a mini tank, which would reinforce the idea of each character. But time, we didn't have the time to do it. We might in the future.
And another cool thing is you have the level design, which, you know, like you said, it's the 2D inspired, and then you also have the music, which I was reading about the composers. Can you tell us a little bit about the levels and then also about the music and the words? Yeah,
sure. A part I forgot to mention is that if we get to well funded to that level, we'll be able to do final levels for each character. So there's like the general levels, which would be a shopping mall, which or what's more mainstream than a shopping mall? Yeah. It's hipster hell. Shopping mall. We were considering Central Park. Then there's like outside the city, where you go into the sewers and fight rats and the like, which is always great fun. And then we were considering like a hipster hell for each of them. Something like maybe Ulysses would have to fight all the dead authors that he keeps name dropping.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and then Sugar would have to fight all the people that she tattooed back in the day that have come back from the dead, asking for a refund.
I love it.
Yeah, and that's the idea. We have 2 more characters that are a bit more diffuse, which we might develop, who are a ukulele player and a longboard pro. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to designing those two. And what was the other part of the question?
As far as
I'm
the music,
horrible.
the composers and the music.
Oh yeah, yeah. We were shooting for a very 80s synth kind of vibe, like Giorgio Moroder. Giorgio Moroder, who worked with Daft Punk recently.
Mhm.
It's this very repetitive, danceable kind of groove with synths. And I'll be honest, I tried to do it myself. Didn't work. And we were very, very lucky to meet the guys from Averno, who do this electro European kind of stuff, which is quite similar to Giorgio Moroder. They might kill me if they hear this, but that's what I think. And they were very excited about the project, and they did the music in an evening. It was amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, those guys are pros. And yeah, you should check them out if you're into that kind of synth thing. They're perfect, really good.
So currently it's on Kickstarter, and and if everything was to go well, when would you hope to have the game released?
Hopefully somewhere around December, because we've got most of the layout of the game worked out, but it's the level design that we want to really get right. I know it takes a lot of testing, so we could put out a joke game just for the sake of it and have it be unplayable, or just allow months for the testing and to make it a good, proper game that's replayable. So yeah, somewhere around December.